Shalom, Most High in Christ, bless you. I am Captain Tobias, and this is another Monday where we're going over scriptures, making sure we understand the difference between things that we know about and the things that we don't know about, right? One of these things that we don't know about is the boundaries of mourning, right? What does that mean, the boundaries of mourning? Meaning that in mourning, tribulations, things are going to happen in this truth in your life. But there's boundaries to everything. There's a time for this and a time for that. All right, so we must strengthen our spirits and our minds in the Lord because when things come up, the first thing that we do, and I'll talk to my wife about this all the time, catastrophizing. We like to go to the worst case scenario versus understanding what God has for us, all right? Things don't happen in this truth, like I said, but we cannot ever take our hand off the plow because of things going on in our life. All right, give me that. Give me Ecclesiastes. There's a time for everything. Give me that.
Yes, sir. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die.
A what?
A time to die.
Right? So that's what we're going over. Not just death, but other things happen in our life that cause us to mourn. Loss of house, a loss of finances, loss of children to the world. All of those things are grievous. So God says there's a season and a time for everything under heaven. Read.
A time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance.
Right, so it says in a time to mourn and a time to dance. There's a time, there's a purpose specifically for mourning. But the flip side of mourning, God says there's a time to dance. That's our feast days. That's our Sabbath days. There's a time we come together as brothers. Hell, Psalms 133, right? We go out to the movies or go out to the pool hall, wherever. Is a time for dancing and enjoying each other. Read.
A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together.
Read.
A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to cast away. A time to rend and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace.
So there's a time and a place for every single thing that we go through. There's a purpose for it too, all right? Give me that definition of death, what Esau says that death is. Because we got to change our mind and the way we view death, right? This is what Esau in his wisdom say about death.
Death, a permanent cessation of all vital functions. The end of life.
So Esau says that it's a permanent cessation of all vital functions. Esau says that once you dead, you dead. There's a permanent to it, right? Give me Psalms chapter 13 and verse 3, right? Because Esau, like I said, we have to change our mind as to what we think. The reason why we get so down in the dumps about things that happen is because we're going what the world says and Esau says versus what God has told us these things are. In his word, he says it, right? Give me that. Psalms 13 and verse 3.
Psalms chapter 13 and verse 3. Consider and hear me, O Lord my God. Lighten mine eyes.
Lighten my eyes. Open my eyes.
Lest I sleep the sleep of death.
Lest I do what?
Sleep the sleep of death.
So God is saying that death is sleep. There's a death that is permanent. We read about that in Revelations. But the death that we all experience in our families or the death that we're going to experience before we get to the Revelation's death is just sleep, right? Give me that in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 14. Because when Christ died, there was some mourning, there was people crying, there was some, it is what it is. Things happen. But watch what it says in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. Read that.
1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 14.
Uh-huh.
For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again.
So it says, if we believe that Jesus died, so the context is Jesus dying. Watch this.
And rose again. Even so, them also which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him.
So it's using both. It says Jesus died, but then it says when you sleep in Jesus, the same thing happened. That's why Christ was able to wake up and get back up, leave the grave and walk around, because he was asleep at that time. He wasn't dead like, we read in Revelation. It was a form of sleep, and it had to happen. Just like our foremothers and forefathers and our children, in some cases our grandparents or whatever, sleep happens. Read. Give me Daniel 12 and verse 2. Reason why we're going over this, because we got to understand the difference between death and the difference between sleep, right? Because when you start to understand what it actually means, right, you understand there's a time and there's a purpose for it. Read.
Daniel chapter 12 and verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake.
Let me see. Read verse 1.
Verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people.
So it's talking about in the last days, Michael is going to come. He's going to stand up for the children of thy people, which is you, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you children of Israel. Read.
And there shall be a time of trouble.
It shall be a time of trouble. Right? Read.
Such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time.
That's the Armageddon. That's the last war that happens, right? Read.
And at that time, thy people shall be delivered.
Thy people, the Israelites, shall be delivered, shall be taken up. Read.
Every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake.
Shall what?
Awake.
So the people that are on the planet shall be taken up. And the people that are asleep shall also be taken up and awakened. That's written in the book. Read.
Some to everlasting life.
Some is going to wake up to everlasting life. Read.
And some to shame and everlasting contempt.
And some is going to wake up to the second death. Boom. And the lake of fire. So death is sleep, right? So your loved ones or whatever, they die now. They're at rest, waiting for this time here. All right, give me drop that. Give me Sirach chapter 40, because we got to understand that what God says, we worry about this thing, but God says it's nothing. Death is nothing, right? This first death is nothing. That's what God says. Read.
40 and
just start at 1. Sirach 40 and 1.
Sirach chapter 40 and verse 1. Great travail is created for every man. And an heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam.
Read.
From the day that they go out of their mother's womb till the day that they return to the mother of all things.
So it's talking about death or sleep. This great travail, this thing that bothers everyone. When am I going to die? When is my, I just had a kid and, I got to leave. It's all this great travail is on the spirit of every man and woman. Read.
The imagination of things to come. And the day of death.
The day of death, which is trouble. Read.
Trouble their thoughts and cause fear of heart.
And it troubles your thought and cause fear. It calls you to grief. It calls you to mourn. It calls you to worry. Read.
From him that sitteth on a throne of glory.
Kings and people that have a lot of wealth.
Unto him that is humbled in earth and ashes.
And the poor and the weak and the beggarly among you. Read.
From him that weareth purple in a crown. Unto him that is clothed with a linen frock. Wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death, and anger, and strife. And in the time of rest upon his bed, his night sleep. Do change his knowledge.
So all of these things right here is what cause us to worry. This calls us to have grief and mourning, right? Read.
A little or nothing is his rest.
A little or nothing is his rest because he's worrying about those other things. Read.
And afterward, he is in his sleep.
Afterward, he is in his sleep.
As in a day of keeping watch. Troubled in the vision of his heart.
Right. So watch this. Watch this. Verse 6. Listen to verse 6, y'all. It's talking about death. And it's talking about how the transition from life to death is. Read. Read 6 again.
Verse 6. A little or nothing is his rest.
A little or nothing is his rest. So it's talking about you being super tired. Watch this.
And afterward, he is in his sleep.
Little or nothing is his rest, and afterwards he is asleep. Read.
As in a day of keeping watch.
As is the day of keeping watch. Meaning that if you are on the wall, let's say you was a military man, you're keeping watch at night, right? You're trying to stay up. Some of y'all work night shifts. Some of y'all work long hours, right? It's comparing the amount of tired that you're going to be in this time. You go from tired, keeping watch, to where you just fall asleep on the job. Watch this. Read.
Troubled in the vision of his heart. As if he were escaped out of a battle. When all is safe, he awaketh.
When all is safe, he what?
Awaketh. And marveleth that the fear was nothing.
That the fear was nothing, right? So God is comparing the death is like when you just, boom, you fall asleep, you don't even recognize or realize what's going on. He says that fear that you've had all your life, it is nothing. Why? Because you are at rest, right? All right, drop that. All right, you'll get it. If you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. All right, go to that next that definition. All right. Mourning.
Mourning. The act of sorrowing. Number 2.
So mourning is to sorrow for something. Read.
Number 2. An outward sign, such as black clothes or an armband of grief for a person's death.
Read.
A period of time during which signs of grief are shown.
So a period of time during which signs of grief is shown. All right. So that's what the definition of mourning. All right. We have to recondition our mind to deal with the pain that happens. So that particular period of time is a time to deal with the grief. Give me Sirach chapter 38. Let me see. In verse 16. 38 and 16?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sirach chapter 38 and verse 16. My son.
So y'all listen to this. So this is that time. And it's different for each person. We're going to go through some scenarios. It's different. Depending on what the Lord tells you your period of time of mourning is, right? Because you read here, it's going to say 2 or 3 days. Then you have Job that has 7 days. Then you had Ezekiel that God says, ain't no mourning for you. Don't cry. Get to work. All right? So it's different. Read.
My son, let tears fall down over the dead.
Let tears fall down over the dead, grieve for the dead, or have sorrow for the dead.
And begin to lament, as if thou hast suffered great harm thyself. And then cover his body according to the custom, and neglect not his burial.
So brothers die, children die, sister die, right? It says to lament his death as if it happened to you. Crying ain't nothing wrong with that. Grieving ain't nothing wrong with that. Bury him, put him in the ground, and watch this.
Weep bitterly.
Weep bitterly.
And make great moan, and use lamentation as he is worthy.
If he is worthy of it. Don't cry for everybody. Your child or somebody in the world, they said, to hell with God, to hell with his commandments, to hell with this truth, to hell with your black Jesus. No, it says if he is worthy, if she is worthy. Some of y'all in here crying and moaning and groaning for children and parents and people that have cursed God. Mourning is select or set for people that keep the commandments of the Lord. We're going to read that and later on where Christ said it. Let the dead bury the dead. All right, read.
And that a day or two.
Let the what?
And that a day or two.
So it says, weep bitterly and make great moan, use lamentation as he is worthy, and that a day or two. 1 day, moan for him. 2 days, maybe. Read.
Lest thou be evil spoken of.
Lest everybody's like, man, what the hell wrong with them? Why they always walking around so damn sorrowful and sad all the time? Woe is me, like Eeyore from what's it called? Winnie the Pooh. Nothing is going right with me. All is bad. No, you're gonna be spoken evil of, because what's wrong with you? We keeping the feast days, we keeping the Sabbath. It's supposed to be a time of joyous occasion, but you over there sitting in the back. Brother, you over there mourning about family members that had nothing to do with this truth that died 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 12, 10, whatever years ago, and you give up the fight because of a wicked spouse, because of a wicked mother, father? Nah. Read.
And then comfort thyself.
And then what?
Comfort thyself.
Get it together. Shake yourself out of it. Get with brothers and sisters to get your mind right. A day or two. Get over it. Start to get over it. Build your spirit up. Have a built up spirit to where you can get over it. Because the mission must still go. You sisters teaching the young children and the younger women and all that stuff, that still got to happen. Brothers getting out on the street, going to teach all across the world, that still got to happen. It can't stop because you decide that your mourning is more important than doing the work of the Lord. It cannot stop. So get over it. A day or two. Read.
And then comfort thyself.
And then comfort yourself. Get out. Get your mind right. Get up. It's time to go. Read.
For thy heaviness. For of heaviness cometh death.
For of heaviness, worry, depression, all that stuff cometh death. You get ulcers. Hell, you even plot suicide. You do overdose. You do drinking, and all of a sudden you get, what's that, cirrhosis of the liver. All these things start to happen. Read.
And the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength.
And your strength that you use, mighty man in the Lord. But now you're in your feelings. Now you yellow make me sad, brother. Yellow make me sad, sister. You had all these works, but now the evil being evil spoken of, now all of the stuff that you did is only, don't worry about that sister. I don't know. She ain't in the spirit lately. Don't worry about that brother. He used to be a mighty man of the Lord, but all he want to do is, moan and groan and sulk in his pity. Read.
In affliction also sorrow remaineth.
In affliction sorrow remaineth. Read.
And the life of the poor is the curse of the heart.
Read.
Take no heaviness to heart. Drive it away.
Drive it. Do what? Wait, read that again.
Take no heaviness to heart.
Take no heaviness to heart. Don't get bogged down in depression. So God is saying right here, it's a choice. Heaviness is a choice. Depression is a choice. Is it real? Sure. But did you have a stay in it? No, because it says don't take any heaviness to heart. Don't put it in your mind to where this is just the way I am. Woe is me. Read.
Drive it away.
Drive it away. Do whatever you can to get it out of your spirit. Join together with brothers. Go over their house. Go out. Unity events. Come to the Sabbaths. Put in your brick. Do all the things that you must do to get over the depression. Because we the Israelites, we know ain't no more people can be beat down by life than us. Why? Because we forsake God's laws. We did forsake his laws. Therefore, all the grief is on our back and on our helmet, as they say. So we got to drive it away. Read.
And remember.
And what?
Remember the last end.
What is the last end? Remember the kingdom of heaven. Remember what we're going through all of this for. Great tribulation is going to come upon us. But if you remember what we're striving for and what we're pressing towards, press towards the mark. What's the mark? The kingdom of heaven. All of these depression bouts and all of this stuff will start to go away. Is it easy? No. Is it possible? Hell yes, it's possible. Get over it. All right, drop that. Let's go to 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras chapter 10. Oh, actually, go. Let me see. Give me 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 4.
2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 4. For we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened, not for that with. Sorry.
Come on, let's get it together.
Yes, sir. For we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened, not for that.
We that are in this tabernacle, the body that we're in, do groan and are burdened with life. Read.
Not for that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon, that mortality might be swallowed up of life.
Read.
Now he that have wrought us for the selfsame thing is God, who also have given unto us the earnest of the Spirit.
The earnest, he gave us the best of Spirit, right? So that grief and burden and all of this stuff that happens upon this body, we need to live and dwell in the Spirit. Live and dwell in the right spirit, not the woe with, all of this foolishness spirit. Get it together. Read.
Therefore,
we
are always confident, knowing that whilst we are at home in the body.
So while we here in the body,
we are absent from the Lord.
We are not with God. That is the last end. Why we are confident that we know while we're here on this earth, there's going to be trouble. There's going to all of these things going to happen, but we're not with God yet. Read.
For we walk by faith, not by sight. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body.
To be absent from the body.
And to be present with the Lord.
And to be present with the Lord. Read.
Wherefore we labor.
We labor.
That, whether present or absent, we may be accepted of him.
So we have a job to do. While we're here on this planet and absent from God, we have a job to do, because we hope when we're absent from this body, we are going to be present with the Lord. All right? Drop that. Go back to 2nd Esdras chapter 10 and verse 15. All right? Because I think I missed something.
2nd Esdras chapter 10 and verse 15.
Oh, that's what I should have did. Okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead. So remember, it says mourning a day or two, right? And while you're mourning, watch this.
Now therefore, keep thy sorrow to thyself.
Say what?
Keep thy sorrow to thyself.
What that means? That don't mean that you can't tell a brother or sister what you're going through. Keep thy sorrow to thyself is that your life is full of that. And you want to drag everybody down with you, because it says that to grieve with that person as if it was yourself, right? All of these things, right? But God says here, while you're mourning, keep it to yourself. Don't bring brothers down with you. Yeah, they know what you're going through. Yeah, it might be tough. Yeah, because in this walk, the scriptures tell us to gather. Give me that, Zephaniah 2 and 1. Because the Lord says to gather together. How you gather together and you don't know what brothers are going through, sisters are going through. All right? Read that.
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourself together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Because remember it says in Sirach 38, it says to bury him. Right? You can't bury him yourself. You can't bury her yourself. There was multiple people that had to be involved to bury a person. So when it says keep it the sorrow to yourself, that don't mean that you can't grieve. It means don't drag brothers down with you, because there's a boundary to mourning, right? Drop that. Give me Isaiah chapter 57 and verse 1.
Isaiah chapter 57 and verse 1. The righteous perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart.
The righteous perisheth, and no man lay it to heart.
And merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come.
Right. So understanding and switching your mind, the righteous are taken away before evil comes upon them. And God is in control of all of that, right? So if you so happen to be close to a brother in this truth, they seem fit. They seem things are going well with them, right? They're a little bit up in age, or they're young, or in middle age, or whatever. And then God decides to take them home. Well, give them rest. Well, one thing you got to get in your mind, well, God did it for a reason. Whatever that reason is, you should say, yes, Lord, understood. Yes, it's going to be tough. Yes, it's going to be difficult. But you can't do nothing by you getting down in the dumps and, balling yourself up in the corner, because that's not what we're here for. Everybody knows that we are born to die. All right? Let's see. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 13. Because when you do that, right, so we understand, right, the righteous, when they die, they go to rest, and, hopefully if their name is in the book, they wake up to righteousness, right? But then there's some of us that are in this truth that sorrow like as if there is no hope. You sorrow and you moan. I want to use some words, man, but I know I can't. I know brothers and young sisters and other people will watch this class, but you sisters and you brothers that are yellow make me sad, that is destroying congregations with your pity, and you want everybody to moan with you, shame on you. Shame on you, because you obviously don't have the hope to getting into the kingdom. You obviously don't have the mindset that these things shall happen. You are caught in the moment, and you're caught in your flesh. Shake yourself from the evil and the dust that you got on you, and awake your spirit to righteousness. Give me that. 1 Thessalonians 4:13.
1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 13. But I would not have you be ignorant.
Don't be ignorant,
brethren,
concerning
them which are asleep.
Concerning what?
Them which are asleep.
Don't be ignorant, those that are dead, right? That are asleep. Read.
That ye sorrow not.
Don't what?
Sorrow not.
Don't sorrow.
Even as others which have no hope.
So don't sorrow like you have no hope. Or don't sorrow like that brother's not going to wake up in Abraham's bosom, or going to wake up into the kingdom in paradise. Is not going to wake up seeing the face of Christ and seeing the angels and seeing all of these things. You sorrow like other people do, meaning there's no hope. Like the first definition says that is total cessation of vitals, meaning there's nothing happen after that. That's the white man thought of death. That's why you sorrow like that, because you don't have a true understanding on what death is. So you sorrow like you have no hope. All right? You can drop that. We don't have to go past that. But get over it. Get your spirit right. Wisdom of Solomon 3 and verse 1. Right? Because we look at, and death is not always symmetrical. You can go to sleep, not wake up. You can drown or something happen. It is what it is. All right? But what happens? Give me Wisdom of Solomon 3 and verse 1.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3 and verse 1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of God.
And what?
The souls of the righteous are in the hand of God.
The souls of the righteous in the hand of God.
And there shall no torment touch them.
And there shall no torment touch them. In the end, there shall be no condemnation for them. Read.
In the sight of the unwise.
In the sight of the unwise, you brothers and sisters, woe, yellow, make me sad, all of this stuff, stuck in your grief. Read.
In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die. And their departure is taken for misery.
And their departure is taken for misery. Read.
And they going from us to be utter destruction. But they are in peace.
So you look at it, even if it's a tragic death, even if it's a tragedy, God says that they are at peace. You look at that as an utter destruction, a departure with misery. Read.
For though they be punished in the sight of men.
For though they in the sight of men, they're like, man, God done judged him. What happened?
Yet is their hope full of immortality.
Their hope is full of immortality because the first sentence says the soul of the righteous. Their hope is full of immortality, meaning live forever. Read.
And having been a little chastised.
They have been a little chastised in this life and with death. Read.
They shall be greatly rewarded.
They shall be greatly rewarded.
For God proved them.
But God proved them. It was their time. Regardless of what you have for them to live 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, whatever years old, God says, I proved them. Therefore, I took them at the time that I wanted or God wanted, not when you want it. That's why we get so hung up in death. And I don't, listen, I ain't talking like as if I got it all together, but what I'm saying is that we need to begin to change our mind on what it means when these things happen. It says that God proved them, read,
and found them worthy for himself.
And found them worthy for himself. Therefore, he took them at the time that he took them. And in the manner he took them. Because the death on this side of Revelation is just sleep. All right? All right. Give me Ezekiel. We ain't going to be long. Ezekiel chapter 24. And let's start at 15. Because remember the scripture before that says a day or two? Scriptures also talk about, just mourning, crying, weeping bitterly, right? But watch this, what God told Ezekiel.
Ezekiel chapter 24 and verse 15. Also, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, behold, I take away from thee the desire of thine eyes with a stroke.
So God took Ezekiel's wife away with a stroke. Many of us know strokes. We've seen brothers and sisters, we've seen family members have strokes. Ezekiel's wife died with a stroke. And verse 15, or where we're reading that, God told Ezekiel that this is going to happen before it was going to happen. So imagine the grief level. Imagine the level of shock and awe. Imagine that. God says, listen, hey, tomorrow, listen. This is what's going to happen to your wife. I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill her with a stroke. But this is what I need you to do. And this is what you cannot do. This is what you bet not do. And this is what you must do. All right, carry on. And just boom. Right? We're going to read it. Read that. Verse 16.
Verse 16.
Yeah.
Son of man, behold, I take away from thee the desire of thine eyes with a stroke.
Your wife, read.
Yet neither shalt thou mourn nor weep.
Say what?
Neither shalt thou mourn nor weep.
Don't mourn for her nor weep for her. It says that she is the desire of thine. I mean, you love your wife. You loved her. You better not weep. You better not cry. I don't want to hear no tears, nothing. Read.
Neither shall thy tears run down. Forbear to cry.
You better not cry. Read.
Make no mourning for the dead.
Don't make no mourning for the dead.
Bind the tire of thine head upon thee, and put on thy shoes, and put on thy shoes upon thy feet, and cover not thy lips, and eat not the bread of men. So I spake unto the people in the morning, and at evening my wife died.
I spake to the people in the morning, and at evening my wife died. Boom. Just like how God told him it was going to happen. He said, you better get up in the morning. You better put your mitre on your head, put the shoes on your feet, and don't cover that. You better go out and continue to teach. Go out and do what you're supposed to do. And at that evening, he found his wife dead. Read.
And I did in the morning as I was commanded.
And
the people said unto me, wilt thou not tell us what these things are to us, that thou doest so? Then I answered them, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, speak unto the house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will profane my sanctuary, the excellency of your strength, the desire of your eyes, and that which your soul pitieth. And your sons and your daughters whom ye have left shall fall by the sword.
So the reason for Ezekiel's wife dying was a similitude also on what's going to happen, or what has been happening to the children of Israel, right? You have profaned the sanctuary. Therefore, your sons and your daughters will fall by the sword. So her death was symbolic of something else that was also happening within Israel. Read.
Verse 22. And ye shall do as I have done. You shall not cover your lips, nor eat the bread of men. And your tires shall be upon your heads, and your shoes upon your feet. Ye shall not mourn nor weep, but ye shall pine away for your iniquities, and mourn one toward another. Thus Ezekiel is unto you a sign.
Okay, read.
According to all that he hath done shall ye do. And when this cometh, ye shall know that I am the Lord God.
Read.
Also, thou son of man, shall it not be in the day when I take from their strength the joy of their glory, the desire of their eyes, and that whereupon they set their minds, their sons and their daughters, that he that escapeth in that day shall come unto thee, to cause thee to hear it with thine ears. And that day shall thy mouth be open to him which escaped, and thou shalt speak, and be no more dumb. And thou shalt be a sign unto them, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
So I read all of that. I got all the way down to the bottom, so you can understand sometimes death is a similitude for what's going on in the body. Sin is going on in the body. A reason why, brothers, something happened is because there's sin in the body. Your son and your daughter died, or something happened. There's sin in the body that you must continue to find out and teach through, right? God has a reason for everything. There's nothing you can read in the Bible there's not a reason for it. He ain't just put it in there because he ain't have nothing else to do. Everything happens for a reason. All right. Let's go. We almost finished. Let me see. Oh, well, we got a little bit more to go. All right. Let's go to Job. Let's go to Job chapter 2 and verse 11. I pray that y'all getting something from this, man, because mourning has its place. There's a reason for all of those things, but then there is the strength you must have to get over it, right? Because it will cause you to curse God, all right?
Job chapter 2 and verse 7. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord.
Have you considered my servant Job? So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. So if reading this, Satan went from the presence of the Lord. Satan went from the presence of the Lord, meaning that he can go back and forth. There ain't no war in heaven. Ain't no, Satan is shooting spiritual missiles and stuff at God, and God ducking them and he losing some of the angels, and they got to re-up and try to. No, that ain't happening. Read.
And smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown.
So he got real sick. Read.
And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal.
A potsherd.
And he took with him a potsherd to scrape himself withal. And he sat down among the ashes.
So watch this.
Then said his wife.
Hold on a second. So every one of us is going to be tried. We don't know how the trial is going to come. It says through much tribulation shall we get the kingdom of heaven, right? We don't know how our trials are going to come. Job's trial came in him losing everything. You're losing his money and wealth and his kids and his health. That was his trial. Watch this. Read.
Then said his wife unto him.
Then said his wife unto him. This is also a trial. Read.
Dost thou still retain thine integrity?
You're still going to be the perfect man, as you said in chapter 1. You're going to be a perfect man like you has always been. Read.
Curse God and die.
Curse God and die. Right? Watch what Job says to her. Read.
But he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips.
Okay, so now his wife says these evil things. Job correct her. But watch what happens after that, right? Because a lot of us say, man, I'm going to correct my wife and I'm going to be good and this, that, and the other. Okay, that's good. That's what you're supposed to do. But what happens when you're sitting down in your own house and the boils is getting worse and the sickness is getting worse? What do you begin to do? You begin to mourn. You begin to lament. You begin to get in your own mind. All of these things. But watch what God does. Read.
Now when Job's 3 friends heard of all this evil that was come upon him.
So now God sends Job's friends. Many of you brothers that are loners in this truth don't understand the power of brothers in this body, sisters in this body. Some of y'all don't let nobody get close to you. You don't have no counsel amongst no thousand, nothing. You don't have people you can call on, talk to, nothing. Job's 3 friends heard that he had gotten sick. Watch this. Read.
They came every one from his own place.
They came from wherever they was living at. They heard it. Read.
Eliphaz the Temanite.
Eliphaz.
And Bildad the Shuhite.
And Bildad.
And Zophar the Naamathite.
And Zophar. Those are his three friends. Read.
For they had made an appointment together to come to mourn with him.
So they made an appointment together. They talked amongst each other and said, man, you heard about Job? Yeah, I heard about him. What you heard about him? Yeah, I heard about him. Man, he going through it. Yeah, let's go visit the brother. Let's go visit the brother. Let's go. Some of y'all say it's too far. Some of y'all, they walked and rode donkeys and stuff. They didn't have no car that goes 70 miles an hour. They walked. It took days sometime to get to where they needed to go. But you have a car. You have a cell phone. You have ways of reaching a brother and a sister, and you refuse to do it. These 3 men heard, and they made it amongst themselves to come visit Job. Read.
And to comfort him.
And to do what?
Comfort him.
That's the point. Their job was to comfort him. Why? Because one, he lost his kids and everything that he had. His wife was talking about some curse God and die. And they knew there was going to be a trial that he was going to go through. So they did what? They comforted him. Right, read.
And when they lifted up their eyes afar off and knew him not.
They didn't know. It didn't say they don't know him. The way he looked, they was like, that can't be Job. Wow, he's getting jacked up. It's worse than what I thought. Read.
They lifted up their voice and wept.
And cried.
And they rent every one his mantle.
Tore his clothes.
And sprinkled dust upon their heads toward heaven.
And put dust on their head. That's how that was an outward show of mourning. Read.
So they sat down with him upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights.
Right. Remember I said the scripture earlier says a day or 2. This says they sat with Job 7 days and 7 nights. And they didn't do what?
And none spake a word unto him.
They didn't even talk. They understood anything right now is not going to be received. So, bruh, we're just going to sit with you. We ain't going to eat nothing. We ain't gonna, nothing. We just going to chill right here. We got your back. 7 days, 7 nights. How many of y'all take time out to check on y'all brothers and sisters when they're going through? not nearly enough. But these men right here took upon themselves to contact each other, get with each other, and chill with Job for 7 days. Read.
For they saw that his grief was very great.
So they saw that his grief was very great. All right. So now, 3 friends, 7 days. Watch what this conversation is like. What? Because Job was a perfect man. His wife said, curse God and die. So immediately after, God sends his 3 friends to comfort him for his grief. Why? Because the words of his wife began to manifest in his mind. Watch this. Chapter 4 and verse 1.
Job chapter 4 and verse 1. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, if we essay to commune with thee, wilt thou be grieved?
Hold on a second. Wait. 3 and verse 1.
Job chapter 3 and verse 1. After this opened Job his mouth.
Saying after the 7 days of them sitting, Job then opened his mouth. Read.
And cursed his day.
And cursed the day he was born. Remember, his wife said what? Curse God and die. He began to curse the day he was born. Read.
And Job spake and said, let the day perish wherein I was born. And the night in which it was said, there was a man-child conceived. Let that day be darkness. Let not God regard it from above. Neither let the light shine upon it. Let darkness and the shadow of death stain it. Let a cloud dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the day terrify it.
So when you read all the way through it, Job began to worry, began to sorrow, began to say, man, why do I got to go through? Man, I wish I was dead. I wish I had not ever been born. This is sore grief. This is something that I ain't never thought I would be able to go through. Let the day that I was born be cursed. Watch what, we're going to jump over to chapter 4 and verse 1. Watch what his friends, the righteous men that the Lord sent, because they hearing all of this stuff. They hearing he's starting to waver a little bit. He's starting to, feel some type of way about the sickness, which is okay. We understand. Read.
Job chapter 4 and verse 1. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, if we essay to commune with thee, would thou be grieved?
So if we came to commune with thee, why are you grieving? Read.
But who can withhold himself from speaking?
But we can't even stop. We can't withhold ourselves from speaking because we're hearing what you're talking about. And we know that what you're saying is not gelling with, the righteous man that you are, right? And it's not you that is not righteous. It's the circumstances that's going on. The devil is still trying you. Read.
Behold, thou hast instructed many.
You have instructed many, Job. You a righteous man teaching on the street, and you doing all of these things, teaching. Read.
And thou hast strengthened the weak hands.
And you have strengthened brothers that was in your situation that had weak hands before you. Read.
Thy words have upholden him that was fallen. And thou hast strengthened the feeble knees.
Thou hast strengthened the feeble knees. Brothers that was weak in the spirit. Remember, Job? You was the brother that was strengthening the other men and other sisters. Read.
But now it is come upon thee, and thou faintest.
And the what?
And thou faintest.
So grief, sorrow, things that you go through, you can be mighty, mighty, mighty in the spirit. But there's a time where you are now wavering and fainting. That's the point on having brothers and sisters you can count on. Because right now, had Eliphaz not been there, he would have fully sunk into his own mind and his own feelings and how he felt about it. But Eliphaz say, hold on, we sat here in bed quiet for 7 days, but I can't stop. I can't hold my peace no more. I remember when you was that guy that was strengthening the young men and the young women. I remember that guy, people had feeble knees, and you gave them a word of encouragement. But now that your time has come, you fainting. Read.
It toucheth thee, and thou art troubled. Is not this thy fear?
Is not this thy fear?
Thy confidence? Thy hope? And the uprightness of thy ways?
Read.
Remember, I pray thee, whoever perish being innocent, and were the righteous cut off, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same.
Okay. All right. So now, you read it for yourself. Go back and read it for yourself. Eliphaz is now, I won't say he checked Job, but he calls him to remember, bro, you a righteous man. Why are you talking like that? Remember the devil said, hey, let me just do this. Have you considered my servant Job? They remember his wife said, just curse God and die. He corrected her. But the scripture also say, don't speak so more exceedingly proudly. By him, actions are weighed. In his grief right now, Job ain't even thinking about nothing but other than woe is me. But he have a friend, Eliphaz, that checked him. All right? Drop that. Go to, jump over to verse, chapter 8. All right? So that's Eliphaz, chapter 8, verse 1.
Job, chapter 8 and verse 1. Then answered Bildad the Shuhite, and said, how long would thou speak these things?
God, leave, Job. How long you going to be talking like this, man? You are that guy. Scripture say you are a perfect man. How long you going to be talking like this? Read.
And how long shall the words of thy mouth be like a strong wind? Doth God pervert judgment?
Doth God pervert judgment?
Or doth the Almighty pervert justice?
So, is this happening for a reason or not? Is this just by God or not? What are you talking about? Read.
5. If thou wouldest seek unto God betimes, and make thy supplication to the Almighty, if thou wert pure and upright, surely now he would awake for thee, and make the habitation of thy righteousness prosperous. Though thy beginning was small, yet thy latter end shall greatly increase. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of thy fathers.
Jump down to 13.
Verse 13. So are the paths of all that forget God, and the hypocrites' hope shall perish, whose hope shall be cut off, and whose trust shall be a spider's web.
So Bildad is now also getting Job's mind right. He said, man, hey, listen, those that forget God are hypocrites, and they shall perish. What are you talking about? Stop with the woe is me. Oh, man, everything is going to be this, that, and the other. Let me see. Jump to verse chapter 7 and verse 14, because this is what before Bildad starts speaking, this is what Job was saying.
Job chapter 7 and verse 14. Then thou scarest me with dreams, and terrifiest me through visions.
So he's having nightmares. He's got sickness going on. He's saying, God scares me with dreams and terrifies me with visions. Read.
So that my soul chooseth strangling.
So my soul chooses strangling. In my mind, I wish I was dead. Watch.
And death rather than my life.
I'd rather to be dead than to be alive. What did his wife say? Curse God and what? Die. Right? So all of these things playing in Job's, yes, he corrected his wife. But there's a time and a place and things that happen when you're going through. The evil seems to be more prevalent than the righteous stuff. Read.
I loathe it.
I hate it.
I will not live always.
I will not live always.
Let me alone.
Leave me alone.
For my days are vanity. What is man that thou shouldest magnify him?
So what is man said that thou should magnify him, because he was a perfect man. Read.
And that thou shouldest set thine heart upon him.
Right. So now jump down. So when you read it for yourself, let's see. Yeah, when you read it for yourself, now this is what Bildad says to him. Read verse 8 and 1 again.
Job chapter 8 and verse 1. Then answered Bildad the Shuhite and said, how long wilt thou speak these things? And how long shall the words of thy mouth be like a strong wind? Doth God pervert judgment? Or doth the Almighty pervert justice?
So now he going, like, Bildad is like, yo, man, how long you going to be talking like this, man? We came from way far to sit with you to get through this thing, but you talking like one of those men that don't believe. What are you talking about? Let's see. Then jump to chapter 9 and verse 1.
Job chapter 9 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Then Job answered and said, I know it is so of a truth.
So I know, yeah, Bill, Dad, what you saying, that's right, bro. I'm tripping. What you saying is right. Read.
But how should men be just with God?
Uh-huh. But how am I going to get right with God, man? How does man get right with God? Read.
If he will contend with him, he cannot answer him 1 of 1,000.
Uh-huh.
He is wise in heart and mighty in strength, who have hardened himself against him and have prospered, which removeth the mountains, and they know not, which overturneth them in his anger, which shaketh the earth out of her place, and the pillars thereof tremble.
Jump to verse 20.
Verse 20. If I justify myself, my own mouth shall condemn me.
So if I justify myself, my own mouth will condemn me. Read.
If I say I am perfect,
Uh-huh.
it shall also prove me perverse.
Perverse, right? Read.
Though I were perfect, yet would I not know my soul. I would despise my life. This is one thing. Therefore I said it. He destroyeth the perfect and the wicked.
Uh-huh. Jump to verse 10 and verse 1. Chapter 10 and verse 1.
Job chapter 10 and verse 1. My soul is weary of my life. I will leave my complaint upon myself.
So my soul is weary upon my life. I'm going to complain to myself. Read.
I will speak in the bitterness of my soul.
So, yeah, read.
I will say unto God, do not condemn me.
Uh-huh.
Show me wherefore thou contendest with me.
Uh-huh.
Is it good unto thee that thou shouldest oppress, that thou shouldest despise the work of thine hands, and shine upon the counsel of the wicked?
So he's saying that this thing that I'm going through is oppression. Why am I going? My life is weary right now. I'd rather be dead. So he keeps wavering. He'll say, yeah, that's true. But then he'll go back. Yeah, that's true. He'll go back. Right? Chapter 11, verse 1.
Job chapter 11, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Then answered Zophar the Naamathite and said, shall not the multitude of words be answered? And should a man full of talk be justified?
Uh-huh.
Should thy lies make men hold a peace? And when thou mockest, shall no man make thee ashamed?
So Zophar is now checking them too. These are 3 good friends, man. Friends don't let you just sulk and stay in your pity. Friends get your mind right. Read that again, man. I like Zophar, man. Read.
Should thy lies make men hold a peace?
Should thou lies? You lying. Hey, what you talking about? You want to die? No, that ain't the purpose for you. God is trying you. Read.
And when thou mockest, shall no man make thee ashamed?
Uh-huh.
For thou hast said, my doctrine is pure,
uh-huh,
and I am clean in thine eyes.
Uh-huh.
But oh, that God will speak and open his lips against thee.
I wish God would speak and open his mouth against you, because you are older than us. Because it's going to tell that you are older than us, and, it is what it is. But I wish God said something right now, because you ain't listening to us. Eliphaz said something, Bildad, now it's me. But I wish God was to open his mouth against you, because you are right in your own eyes. Read.
And that he would show thee the secrets of wisdom,
Uh-huh.
that they are double to that which is.
Because I want you to see that what you're going through is double. It's a reason why you're going through this. It's not for you to pity and to moan and and yellow make me sad and all this other stuff. What you going through, Job, is for a purpose. Read.
Know therefore that God exacteth of thee less than thine iniquity deserve.
So what he's doing to you is less than what you actually deserve. Let's see. Jump over to Job chapter 18 and verse 1.
Job, chapter 18 and verse 1.
And y'all need to read this for yourself. No, actually, 15 and verse 1.
Job, chapter 15 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Then answered Eliphaz the Temanite and said, should a wise man utter vain knowledge and fill his belly with the east wind? Should he reason with unprofitable talk or with speeches wherewith he can do no good? Yea, thou castest off fear and restrainest prayer before God. For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yea, thine own lips testifieth against thee.
So this is Eliphaz coming back and say, your own mouth contests against you. What you're saying, you're not even thinking about it. You're letting your circumstance dictate what you're going to have to you're writing a check that your behind can't cash. Then watch what Job says, 16 and verse 1.
Job chapter 16 and verse 1. Then Job answered and said, I have heard many such things. Miserable comforters are ye all.
So he said, man, golly, man, y'all won't even let me misery in my damn pity. Y'all won't let me wallow in my pity. That's what I want to do. Y'all are miserable comforters. Because those men were sent by God because God knew he was going to go through a trial that if left alone, he was going to misery love company. He was going to sit there and wallow in this misery. Therefore, all through the book of Job, his friends is getting on his head. Boom, 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 bringing out scriptures, correcting his mind. Those are the type of friends that we need. Not somebody that's going to be a comforter to let you just do and say whatever you want to do. He said that, man, y'all are miserable comforters to me. All right. Drop that. Let's go over to, let's see. Yeah, y'all can, we ain't got that much time. We got 15 minutes. All right. Let's see. 30. Where am I at? All right. Let's just jump to the end of Job, right? Let's go Job chapter 42 and verse this verse 9. All right? Because you can read it for yourself. That's what you need to do. Go back and read this history for yourself, because a lot of us are in this position. A lot of us is questioning and second and guessing in God and all this other stuff. A lot of us is woe is me, and not relying on our brothers and sisters when we're given a word of comfort. It might not seem right. It might not, let me not say that. It might not seem comfortable, but it's the right thing that you must hear at the time. Watch this. Verse 9, 42 and verse 9.
Job chapter 42 and verse 9. So Eliphaz the Temanite and Bildad the Shuhite and Zophar the Naamathite went and did according as the Lord commanded them.
Did what?
Went and did according as the Lord commanded them.
So the Lord commanded them to do this. The Lord knew that what they call it, a ram in the bush. He knew that Job was going to wallow in his pity, so he sent his 3 friends, and it says that these 3 friends did as the Lord commanded them. Read.
The Lord also accepted Job.
And then at the end, once Job got his mind right, listening to his friends that was sent by God, God accepted Job. Read.
And the Lord turned the captivity of Job.
He turned it around, the sickness and all of the stuff. Read.
When he prayed for his friends.
When he prayed for his friends. Read.
Also the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before.
So after hearing all this stuff, and Job said, man, y'all are grievous. Y'all are terrible counselors, man. Y'all won't let me wallow in my pity. He listened to his counselors. Then Job prayed for his friends. Thank you. Let me pray for you, because had y'all not been here for me, I would have probably got destroyed. Let's see. Read.
Then Then came there unto him all his brethren, and all his sisters, and all they that had been of his acquaintance before. And they eat bread with him in his house. And they bemoaned him, and comforted him over all the evil that the Lord brought upon him. Every man also gave him a piece of money.
Gave him a piece of money.
And every one an earring of gold.
An earring of gold, read.
So the Lord blessed the latter end of Job.
So the Lord blessed the latter end of Job.
More than his beginning.
For
he had 14,000 sheep, and 6,000 camels, and 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 she-asses. He had also 7 sons and 3 daughters.
With his wife, read.
And he called the name of the first Jemima.
Jemima, right? Okay. All right. Let's see. Verse 15.
Verse 15. And in all the land, there were no women found so fair as the daughters of Job.
Had beautiful daughters, read.
And their father gave them inheritance among their brethren.
Because he had money, read.
After this lived Job 140 years. And saw his sons and his sons' sons, even 4 generations.
He lived a long life. When he was talking about he was going to die, God says, nah, you're going to live 140 years. Read.
So Job died, being old and full of days.
Right. So we got to understand, and I ain't going to be able to finish this because, time is running. I ain't going to be able to finish this. But when we go through things, we got to seek out brothers, or before we go through things, you should be developing relationships with brothers and sisters that you know keep the commandments of the Lord. Why? Because when this time comes, they're not going to let you wallow in your pity. Nah, they're going to give you scriptures and say, nah, yeah, that's happening, but stuff need to, stuff need to go, continue. The work must be done, right? Because there's another part of it that I ain't going to be able to get through, because this is losing things personal to you, losing people that is personal to you, and hell, even losing the things in your life. Well, there's another part to it, is losing loved ones to the world, all right? A lot of you brothers and sisters have kids that was in this truth before that left, or you have kids that never came in, but you love them more than you love the brothers and sisters in here, all right? That ain't going to get you nowhere, because what you're going to do when you're at home, you're going to wallow in your pity. You're going to want to call them. You're going to want to spend time with them. You want to do all of these things that you know they said, to hell with your God. But you were willing to compromise yourself for the love of your children. All right? So I can't go through that. You got a bunch of more scriptures, man. But I pray that you brothers and you sisters that are listening, I pray that you get something from this, man, because there's going to come a time where mourning is a part of the healing process. But understand, there's boundaries to mourning. As we read with Job, there was a boundary to his mourning. 7 days they sat, and after that, his friends was on his head. His friends was with the correction. So remember, there's boundaries to mourning, and don't get caught up in your sorrow and your pity, because it will destroy you. With that, shalom.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom. What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. foundation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word, his word, his word